Hello, busy professionals, and welcome to the You Deserve a Luxury Vacation podcast. In this episode, we're going to talk with Sarah, one of my travel partners in Dubai. She helps customize some great experiences for my busy professionals in Dubai. We're going to discuss the 10 myths to debunk about Dubai. And after that, we're going to go over some great activities that you can experience in Dubai. So busy professionals, stay tuned and listen.
Welcome to the You Deserve a Luxury Vacation podcast, where we help busy professionals with valuable tips and inspiration to plan their next luxury vacation. Your host is BELVIN Baldwin II, an award-winning travel advisor and owner of Showtime Travel. He will educate and entertain you on this journey by speaking with some of the top luxury travel suppliers. So let's get started, because you deserve a luxury vacation.
Well, hello, Sarah, and welcome to the You Deserve a Luxury Vacation podcast. How are you doing?
I'm good, Devin. Good seeing you again. How are you?
Great. It's great seeing you again. I know we were in Dubai maybe a month ago, and it's great to see you again. And hello from Dubai. How's everything over there?
Well, everything is fine. You know, there's always good vibes in Dubai. Always happy to be here. Always something different, some cool news, some new things to do. Happy as always.
Okay. Well, great. Well, I'm glad you're here. And, you know, we had a great conversation and meeting the last time we spoke. And I love Dubai. I enjoy Dubai. You know, it's been, I think I've been there twice. And each time I've had a great time. And when I come back and talk to my friends, they always have questions regarding Dubai. You know, can we do this? Can I do that? You know, is it super strict? You know, or do I have to have gobs and gobs of money to go there? So today we're going to, debunk some of those myths, and I'm going to ask you a few questions, and you just let me know, is it a myth or not, or what we need to do. So when it comes to Dubai, a lot of women want to go there, and they ask this question: do they have to be covered up when they travel to Dubai?
No, of course you don't have to cover up when you're in Dubai. I mean, the general rule is you should always cover your shoulders and the knees and everything in between. But for sure, you don't have to wear a veil like a Sheila, a headscarf or anything. Just be yourself and be our guest.
Great. So even, for example, when you go to the mosque and things of that nature, it's respectful to cover up there, of course.
Yes. If you visit a mosque, I mean, that applies, I think, to any holy place all over the globe, I would say, you have to cover up. So if you visit any mosque that is allowed for non-Muslims to visit in the United Arab Emirates, you will have to cover. So you will have to wear long sleeves up to your wrinkles and trousers to your ankles, and you will have to wear the headscarf and just wear respectful, loose, non-transparent clothing for the women. And men also, they should wear long trousers, but they can wear t-shirts. But yeah, it's a respectful, holy place. So for that reason, yeah, if you visit a mosque, yes, there is a certain dress code that applies.
I mean, I think that's common sense, but we have to say that. We have to say that. But the thing is, as far as women traveling to Dubai, there's no restrictions on anything when it comes to women. That's just a myth out there. Is that correct?
Absolutely, Ms. I mean, I would even say that the United Arab Emirates or Dubai is the place to go for women because it's one of the safest places on earth. Just a couple of days back, BBC Travel has awarded Dubai as I think one of the 5 safest places to travel for women. And I mean, that says a lot. I lived here for 13 years, and living in Dubai as a woman is, I have to remind myself when I travel outside that I should be a little bit cautious. Here in the UAE, I mean, I'm never afraid. I forget the feeling of being scared, afraid for anything. Like no one will hop behind me, make me scared. No one would take my phone away, my handbag. It's just so safe. So I would say one of the best places to go for either a solo traveler, women, or even for women, like friends, for example, traveling together.
Great, great. That's great to know. So the second myth, you have to be a millionaire, a billionaire to travel to Dubai. Let's talk about that. Do you have to be rich to vacation in Dubai?
No, no, no. I mean, I would say that you get so much value for money here. I mean, of course, the more you spend, the better value you get, as everywhere in the world. But compared to other destinations, what you get here for a certain amount of money is just amazing. So you can, with smaller amount of money, you can have still a good vacation. But of course, if you have more, you can just elevate or level up your experience.
Well, great. Even during my visit, you have so many different options. So just like you said, you have a variety of different options there. You can have the super, super, ultra luxury experience to the premium experience. And even the premium experience is very high end in most places. That would be luxury other places. But it just seems that you get a lot of bang for your buck there, as we call it. So the great thing is you don't have to be a millionaire to go on vacation in Dubai. What about alcohol? So a lot of people are afraid that once they go there, they can't drink or anything of that nature. Can you kind of tell me about what can you do with alcohol in Dubai?
Yeah, so you can drink alcohol in restaurants that are licensed to serve alcohol, which is mainly the hotel restaurants or beach clubs, for example, and some outside restaurants. You're not allowed to drink in public in the street, which is also applies to other places in the world. But if you go to a restaurant, you can have your glass of wine. We have nightclubs where you can party, but just keep it to the nightclub and don't celebrate and drink in the streets. That's not allowed. But apart from that, or even in your home, we have liquor stores in Dubai where tourists, they have to carry their passport, where you can see that they are tourists with a visa stamp. And then you can just even buy a bottle, for example, if you want to keep it in your room and have a nice drink on your balcony, for example. So no issues with that as well.
That's good to know. So number one, of course, just like anything, you can't drink, it's a lot of places in the US that, you can't drink on the streets or no public intoxication. That's just common sense there. But the good thing is you have dedicated places just like restaurants and nightlife that you can drink. And you can also just make sure you bring your passport. You can buy a bottle of wine or anything, and you can take it back to your room as well. So, okay, I think that covers everything. That covers everything. So let's talk about religion. A myth out there that you have to be Muslim only. They don't accept, Christianity or any other religion. Let's talk about that. What do you say, Sarah?
Well, that's another myth. I mean, of course, Islam is the state religion here in the United Arab Emirates, but we even have churches, we have temples for other religions, and we have also synagogues in the UAE. Just recently in the capital of the country, in Abu Dhabi, we had the so-called Abrahamic family house opening, which is one of the only places on earth where you have a mosque next to a synagogue and next to a church. So that's a place, not only a place to worship, but it's like an interreligious center where tourists or anyone can go to visit and learn about the three Abrahamic religions. And if it comes to Christmas, for example, even Christmas, we have Christmas trees in the shopping malls, decorations in the hotels. We have Christmas brunches. You can order your turkey or eat your turkey in the hotel restaurant, for example. You can wear your jewelries with a cross, for example. You can follow your own religion. And I think that's a beautiful thing that we have all the different world religions living together in peace in the UAE.
That's great. That's wonderful. And it seems when I visited, you saw so many people from different ethnicities there. Of course, from India, Africa, of course, Europe, North America. So everybody's there. It's a great country. So let's talk about the temperature. A lot of people, well, Dubai's in the middle of the desert. Will I go there and will I melt? I mean, how hot can it get? When is the best time to travel? Is it comfortable there? So let's talk about the temperature.
I mean, of course, we are a city in the middle of the desert or at the edge of the desert at the Arabian Gulf. But in the end, we have 3 months of summer, which is like, let's say from mid-June to mid-September, roughly is the hotter months where it can get to 50 degrees Celsius. I apologize. I'm not sure how much this is in Fahrenheit, but especially then from October to April, May is the best time to travel. And I'm just saying, we just do the opposite side around. Like in other countries of the world, you would live outside in the summer and inside your home in winter. But in the UAE, we live inside in the summer, like we would more be inside and sit inside the restaurants. But in the winter, it's so beautiful. And, you know, we have hardly any rain here. We have maybe 3 to 5 days of rain per year. So it's just amazing. I mean, the weather is very, very comfortable throughout like 9 to 10 months a year.
Okay. Great. So you're kind of the opposite. The summertime, you stay in, you enjoy that air conditioning.
Yeah, I want to say, of course,
months,
we have air conditioning everywhere. I mean, that's of course. So
yeah,
it's
course,
great.
of course.
You rather feel cold
Well,
in the summer when you're somewhere inside because of the AC.
Okay, good. So I like that time. You basically it's great. It's a great time to travel there during the winter and fall times, and sometimes the spring. But summer, it can get a little hot. It can get a little hot there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this. And I think we spoke about this earlier, but when it comes to driving, women can drive there. It's no problem.
We can do we can kind of do whatever we want here. Yes. We can even take the metro in the women cabin if we don't want to sit with the men, because maybe in the morning we had a fight with our husband. We just don't want to share the same area with any men because we are so upset. We could be in the women area of the metro. We don't have to, but we can be. So we can do anything as a
Great. And also the language barrier. You know, a lot of course, I'm coming from North America, USA, and people think, well, I have to speak Arabic. Can you speak English and get around in Dubai?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I would say even maybe more people speak English than Arabic. All the signboards will always be in Arabic and in English. You absolutely don't need to speak Arabic when you live here. You need to speak English when you are here. Yes.
No. Okay.
So easy
Okay,
going.
great. When it comes to buying and eating pork, if someone wants bacon, is there an option to get bacon or any pork there, or is it punishable to eat pork there?
It's not punishable to eat pork, but there are only certain restaurants that have a license to sell pork or to cook pork. So you need to find them, or you can help them if someone wants to eat pork. We would help them to find these restaurants. And also in the supermarkets, for example, there would be a special section that is like a separate room in the supermarket, which would say like pork from non-Muslims only, where you could buy it if you would cook it for yourself.
Okay,
but you can get it.
Great. And the last question then on the myths, and the myths, 10 myths we want to debunk about Dubai is, overall, is Dubai safe?
Yeah, as I already mentioned earlier, I mean, it's one of the safest places on earth, really. Like every year we're getting awarded like as the safest or one of the 5 safest destinations in the entire world. And it's so true. You can really, like, we reserve tables at restaurants with our iPhones, with our mobile phones. We go to the open buffet to take our food or wherever we want to go, and we come back and no one will even have touched the phone. You have maybe the waiter running behind you and telling you like, "Ma'am, you forgot your phone," but it's the safest place on earth. Such a good feeling.
Well, you know, let me tell a quick story. I knew it was super safe when I had a client travel there, and he left his wallet in the taxi, and he was staying at the Grosvenor. And before the taxi even left and got away, they had already called the taxi back. Well, they called me first. And he called me, and, you know, I called the hotel, and they already tracked the taxi The taxi was back and his wallet was already in his hands in a matter of 10 or 15 minutes. So they had a camera showing with the license plate, everything. So, and I'm pretty sure the taxi driver didn't even know it until he got the call. And it just shows you how safe, it can be there in Dubai. So we really enjoyed ourselves. Just a kind of bonus questions. When it comes to, let's just say, public affection, are you allowed to hold hands there, or is that what's the goal?
Yeah.
What's that? Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, as long as you are not married, you are not allowed to hold hands or show any public affection. When you're married, you can. But of course, I mean, there's no policeman strolling in the street and
is it enforced?
for holding hands. Are you married and asking for a marriage certificate, for example? Yeah. I mean, it's not the place where you would like intimely hug someone and kiss in the street. This is not the place to do. This is something you would do in your hotel room. But if it's just holding hands, walking together, taking pictures together and all, there's no harm.
Right. Well, great. Well, I think we covered everything. Let's start talking about why people should go to Dubai. So let's start talking about, okay, for example, I work with busy professionals that are usually celebrating an event, maybe a birthday, a milestone birthday, an anniversary, or even a reunion with friends and family. Can you tell me a couple of things they should try when they first visit to Dubai?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the good thing in the country is that it's a small country, so we have a lot of different things that you can do very close to each other. So you could, for example, start off with maybe after your breakfast, or we could surf it on the yacht. You could start off with a yacht cruise, maybe around the Dubai Marina and the Palm Jumeirah, this big artificial island that Dubai has. Have lunch on board, some drinks, some snacks. Then you could have, for example, a nice lunch at a viewing deck, like at a restaurant in downtown Dubai, overlooking the Burj Khalifa, which is just maybe hardly a 30-minute drive from the yacht to reach downtown Dubai. And then we would love to do an amazing private setup event in the desert, maybe. The desert, again, it's like a 45 minutes drive. We can do a very authentic yet very luxurious setup for you, depending on what kind of design you like, what kind of style you like, what the client exactly needs, what his or her expectations, and of course also there can be drinks included in the desert setup. Then maybe after that you go back to a nightclub in Dubai. So everything is so close to each other that you can really have city life, beach life, and desert life within half an hour, 45 minutes drive maximum.
Great. So let's talk about each of those. So let's start off with the desert life. So when I was there, I experienced, you can do camel rides. We rode the kind of the dunes there, and we did the ATVs. But it's something else you can do can you kind of expound on the setup where they have the belly dancing and the dinner? Can you kind of explain that?
Yeah, of course, there are different options what you can do in the desert. You can join like a group dinner, for example. You can go for a sunset point, see the sun going down with a nice glass of champagne, for example. You could have either a short camel ride, or you can even have, like, let's say, a 20-minute ride through the dunes. If you're an adventurous person, yes, you could do the dune buggy or a quad bike ride, for example. You can, then it comes to dinner experiences, belly dance, as you're rightly saying, like belly dance, very, very, very common here. Fire shows, like fire blower, for example. But, it's not limited to this. I mean, if you say you need a saxophone player, we'll bring a saxophone player for the birthday party. If they want a surprise of, I don't know, like whatever is, I mean, the sky is not the limit. You ask for it, or you ask for a surprise, and we can give you suggestions. So it can be anything. Even you're in the desert, really the quality and the service will be very high. You could do overnights as well. I mean, not for everyone, but I know there's people that would really like, it's not for a 7-night or for a 5-night stay, but maybe you split your stay in Dubai and you can just spend one night in the desert. I'm not talking about tents, but we have nowadays, there are a lot of like glamping options, or like, it's not also hotels, but you have glamping options, which are at a very, very good quality, and which is definitely a beyond the ordinary experience and gives you memories for a lifetime. And that's something nice also for, like, let's say honeymooners, or for a proposal, or for wedding anniversaries, different options.
Great, great. Now I heard about those glamping options. They are extraordinary and amazing.
Oh,
So
yes.
the different what you can see and take advantage of in the desert. So that's great. So I like how you said you could customize it. Anybody, you just gave a few options. You could, I mean, anything from belly dancer to a saxophone player to anything that you're looking for. We can customize that experience for you inside the desert. Not only that, with the ATV rides, camel rides, and everything else. So you could have a full experience in the desert. So let's come back into the city a little bit. Let's talk about the different beach clubs or pools out there. So it's so many different beach clubs that I got a chance to go to Cloud 22 in Atlanta's Nikki Beach Club as well. So could you talk about the different beach clubs in Dubai?
Yeah, I mean, beach clubs became quite a thing in the past 10 years, I would say, in Dubai. And you have them now in different locations in Dubai. So if you say Nikki Beach, that's more in the Jumeirah area. And Nikki Beach is a global brand that people know quite well, I would say, especially American travelers. Then especially on the Prime Jumeirah, there have been quite a few additions, and you have different ones. You have, like, for example, Coco Bay, which is more like laid back, not so it's more like boho chic style. It's not like a super, it's fancy, but it's not like this high end. You have your service and everything, but it's not like a, whatever you want to call it.
Right,
Then,
right.
of course, the Royal, the Atlantis, the Royal, the just newly opened 5-star plus hotel in Dubai has also, for example, the Nobu by the beach, so the Japanese-inspired beach club as well. If you go then to JBR area, you have the Blah Blah Club, which is like a cluster of, I don't know, they have like probably 20 different bars and restaurants, and it's a good place to go in the past 2 years, maybe. If you go further down the city, even, you have Blue Water Island, where we have Ain Dubai, the world's tallest ferry wheel. And there's the Caesar's Palace Hotel, and there they have the Cove Beach Club, for example. So I would say, again, depending on the profile of the traveler, we would be able to suggest the best beach club, or maybe any special event. If it comes to ladies, maybe there's ladies' day or ladies' night at a beach club, then we would, of course, suggest this beach club on a certain day.
Great, great. And that's good to know, because sometimes they're celebrating a bit, just like you said, a birthday or something of that nature. And it's good to know when there's ladies' night, or when, or anytime. I think you can always, of course, celebrate at a beach club. So you're great.
There's no
there.
need for a reason.
Let's talk about those people. Yeah. Let's talk about, we've talked about the desert and the beach for the people who want to entertainment and celebrate. Let's talk about those people who want a little bit of history and culture. So when it comes to history and culture, when I was there to really see things like the frame, where you got to see how Dubai has grown and where it was in the past to where it is now. And then if you get out of kind of Dubai and go to Abu Dhabi, the Louvre and that museum. So could you talk about the different, the history, the culture, and some of the museums that you can attend as well?
Yeah, we always say that Dubai is not only the bling bling and what most of the people maybe know from social media nowadays, but there's more to discover. And at least one day or one activity should be based on this when you visit Dubai. So, for example, there's a cultural center in Dubai where you can go for a cultural meal, like lunch, for example, which will be hosted by a local, by an Emirati person. And you eat, you sit on the floor, like on these pillows. You can imagine these. It's a majlis style, as we say here in the UAE. So you eat the local Emirati food, and at the same time you have a Q&A session with the local. And their slogan is like open minds, open doors, open minds. So you can really ask anything you want to know. That's a good introduction to Dubai. So if you do this on one of the first days, and all these questions the traveler can ask, like, or the man have 4 wives, and all these kind of questions that you will
Ask all
probably
those questions.
so if you have more than the 10 minutes that we just spoke about, you can address all these questions at the cultural lunch. We do have our very own food tour, which is the walking tour through the old part of Dubai, where you stop at different restaurants and you can really dive into the Middle Eastern cuisine. There is museums, like a coffee museum as well. But of course, the frame, as you already mentioned, is also a very nice thing. And it's, sometimes you say you don't want to go on the tallest building of the world, on the Burj Khalifa, but you want to go somewhere where you can see the Burj Khalifa or take the best picture of it. And the frame could maybe be a nice place to take pictures of the skyline. And usually it's less crowded than the Burj Khalifa. In any case, what we always try to do, and I think what also makes it different for you as a travel advisor, is that we would not send the travelers to sites at the most busy time, because we are the experts here on the ground. So we know what is the best time to visit to avoid the crowds, or what is a better experience than the most touristy place to go, maybe, but to really give you a better experience.
Good. And that's always good to know. And that's why we like to partner with you. And we want to make sure that our clients always get the best experience in Dubai. When it comes to, we talked about the history and culture. And one thing I really want to point out is the Museum of the Future. You really have to be prepared to get there and plan well in advance. So why is that, Sarah? Why do you have to plan in advance?
Well, the Museum of the Future, of course, is not into the history, but this is really, they call it the most beautiful building on earth. And you may have seen that building. It's just like a ring kind of building. So it's really amazing, with Arabic calligraphy. And it's a visit into the future, basically. And this museum, even though it's open now for, I would say, 1.5 years, maybe, or 1 year, it's still sold out for a minimum of 3 weeks approximately in advance. So if you think you come to Dubai and tomorrow let's go, or during our week in Dubai, let's go to the Museum of the Future, most of the time we have to disappoint you. So book it well in advance. But I have good news. We are able now to sell tickets that you can get nowhere else, where you don't have to wait in line. You pay a bit more, but for those people who miss to book it in advance, we do still have tickets available, even on a very short notice.
Good. And that's a great reason why it's better to work with a travel advisor, because we're going to make sure that we can give you, our listeners out there, those great options as well, to get in while everybody else is waiting in line. Because exactly. It is every time I go there, you definitely have to book that in advance. So when you think of Dubai, you think of all these superlatives, the biggest, the best, the everything when it comes to Dubai. So we already talked about the Burj Khalifa out there. So and it's being the tallest building, but it's even on top of a mall, which is the Dubai Mall. Can you talk about some of the, how can I put it, some of the shopping, and along with some of the things that only you could possibly do in Dubai?
Yeah. So of course you have all the shopping malls, as you said, the Dubai Mall, which is one of the biggest malls in the world. But we also have the authentic souk shopping. So souk is a market. So there's the spice market, for example, the gold market. There's a perfume market, a textile market. So these would be some of the experiences that are more authentic. But of course, we can also provide you with a personal shopper, because these malls, yes, they are the biggest, but it's not always good to be in the biggest mall. Let's say you want to have something very specific, but you only have maybe 2 hours to find it, then you really need someone to guide you through. So again, also, if you go to the markets, it's always good to go with one of the tour guides, which really where you can get the best quality or the best prices for gold, or maybe for a pashmina shawl, for for the spices, what is a reasonable price, and they will help you to bargain as well.
Okay, great. So we talked about the Dubai Mall, and what is the Mall of Emirates as well? So that's another
Yes.
one out there.
Well,
Wow.
the
So
Mall of the Emirates, this is the one where you have the ski slope inside. So if you ever thought you cannot have snow in Dubai, as you rightly said, Dubai is all about the biggest, the best, the tallest, or just the wow, then you have to go to Mall of the Emirates. If you want to have a ski lesson, that's at the Ski Dubai at Mall of the Emirates. Yeah.
wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. So you're talking about a ski slope in the mall. So you know, Dubai has everything. When we are, a lot of people ask me and they say, well, Belvin, which area should I stay in when it comes to Dubai? Because I've heard of JBR, I've heard of the Palms, you know, downtown. So could you kind of explain the difference between those areas in Dubai?
Yeah, of course. I would say most of the travelers from the US, they would either opt for a beach hotel, which then would be, as you say, the Palm Jumeirah. So the Palm Jumeirah is this artificial island that looks like a palm from above. So there you have like 20 to 30 different hotel options, beach properties, all of them. So that if you go there, you have to keep in mind that you're a little bit drive away, for example, from downtown Dubai. So you may need maybe 20 minutes just alone to go down from the Palm Jumeirah to reach back to the mainland, plus then the driving time to go maybe to Dubai Mall, to Burj Khalifa, to do all your sightseeing. JBR is the Jumeirah Beach residence. It's a beautiful kind of promenade where you have plenty of restaurants, cafes, boutiques, small shops by the beach side. So it's very beautiful for a stroll around in the maybe after dinner in the evening. Beach hotels you have there, but you also have beach hotels that are like one lane behind the beach, so you need to cross like the small promenade, and it's a beautiful place. JBR is quite famous for the supercars, so if you just sit there in one of the cafes in the evening, you can see all the beautiful cars slowly driving on that kind of stretch there. So these
Great.
are two of the areas. Then we have the Jumeirah Beach. Jumeirah Beach is where you would have, for example, the Bulgari, the Four Seasons, the Mandarin Oriental. So that's Jumeirah as such is a villa area. But from there, you wouldn't be far, for example, from downtown Dubai. So it's maybe a 15, 20 minutes drive. So quite nicely located. And then if it comes to city hotels, I would say it's definitely downtown Dubai where you should be. So downtown Dubai, this is where you have the Burj Khalifa, the world's tallest building. You have the Dubai Mall. And of course, there's a lot of restaurants as well. Personally saying, I'm a big fan of splitting your stay in the UAE. Even if you just visit Dubai, I would say, like, let's say you're coming for 1 week, I would say stay maybe 3 to 4 nights in downtown Dubai, do all your shopping, your experiences, your visits to the city, do it when you're based in downtown Dubai, and then do the last 3 nights maybe at beach property, because then you can really fully enjoy the resort, and you don't have long drives and you're not wasting your time on the road, but you have I think this is how you can make best out of your stay.
Great. And when you talk about it's different parts, and I think a lot of people are confused with Dubai because they sometimes think of Dubai as the country, where UAE is the actual country. So you can go to Abu Dhabi sometimes and visit that
Yes.
Emirates as well. How far of a drive, and what are the other Emirates around?
Yeah, so exactly. So Dubai is just one of the 7 Emirates and also the city of Dubai. And the capital is Abu Dhabi. So Abu Dhabi is also one of the Emirates. It's just like 90 minutes drive from each other. So even if you would be based in Dubai and you want to do a day trip to Abu Dhabi, it's possible. You could, of course, also do 4 nights in Dubai and 2, 3 nights in Abu Dhabi. What to see in Abu Dhabi, I think the most visited place in Abu Dhabi is the Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque, a beautiful, one of the biggest mosques in the world, white marble. And again, it's not only about the architecture, it's also like a center to learn about the religion of Islam. In general, Abu Dhabi is more of a cultural hub, like where, as we said a few times today already, Dubai is about wow and the biggest and the tallest. Abu Dhabi is more a little bit maybe sophisticated. So we have the Louvre Abu Dhabi, so which is like not like the Louvre in Paris, but it's the Louvre Abu Dhabi, which just alone the building is an amazing piece of art. You can visit the exhibition inside the Louvre, but you could also, for example, do a kayak tour around the Louvre, and the tour guide will explain you about the architecture. And I mean, if you have pictures, not only of you doing your selfie in front of the Louvre, but you doing kayaking around the Louvre, I mean, that's something really cool.
Right, that is cool.
Yeah. Yeah, you can visit the presidential palace in Abu Dhabi. You have Abu Dhabi is older than the city of Dubai, so you have the first building, the first fortress that was built in Abu Dhabi as the first stone building in the city. So you see, Abu Dhabi is more cultural, historic when it comes to sightseeing.
Great.
But
Yeah, well, I will ask this. I know we're getting close to the end, and you see a lot of pictures, especially when it comes to Instagram, and you talked about it earlier. It's the yachts. Can you kind of explain? Are you capable when my clients come there? Are we capable to getting them those yachts? And can you kind of explain the process? What can they do?
yeah, I mean, if you have a yacht, it will be a private yacht for yourself, which you rent, let's say, for a minimum of 3 hours. And then it's kind of up to you what is the program of the day. So in the 3 hours, usually all these yachts, they start near or in the Dubai Marina area. So it's up to you if you would like to first sail through the marina. So that would be an area where you have all the skyscrapers. So it's a very nice and picturesque scenery. Also, if you have your yacht slowly sailing through the skyscrapers and then onto the Arabian Gulf. Then if you want, you could either stop somewhere and do some swimming from the yacht, or you could just do like a sightseeing of the modern part of Dubai by sailing around the Palm Jumeirah, seeing the Atlantis the Royal from the sea, the Burj Al Arab, the sail-shaped hotel. So there's different options. And of course, it's your yacht, so it's up to you to decide. You just want snacks, you want only soft drinks, you want to have champagne on board, you want to have a lunch on board, you want to have a sunset cruise. Whatever you imagine, we'll make it possible.
Wow.
We can board, for example, we can bring you to a restaurant. I mean, we love to, like, if you don't want to have the food on board, then we can, at the end of your cruise, maybe we can just anchor at one of the piers at one of the hotel restaurants, and you can have your proper lunch in a restaurant there. But you arrive in style. You don't come with a driver by road, but you come with your private yacht. So the sky is not even the limit.
Great. And that's what I like about Dubai. It's just the customization. It's so much that you can do and customize it. And Sarah, with that being said, when it comes to customization and in our partnership together, why is it important to work with a travel advisor when planning a vacation to Dubai?
I think especially in our destination, it is very important. I mean, of course, you always have the internet, you can do things by yourself, but I would especially here not recommend that, because the country changes so fast, and we are the experts on the ground, and BELVIN works with us and knows that we know what is the best places to be, to go, the best time to go there, and how to really make more out of it. I mean, we have more than 800 hotels. How would a person be able to choose on their own which hotel they want to go, right? And yeah, everything looks good on the internet, but you need a local expert, I would say, to make the best out of your vacation. And you may not have, I mean, you don't have so many holidays in a year. So we want to make sure, and we definitely make sure that you can have the best time of your life and just go home very relaxed and with memories for a lifetime.
And that's great to know, because if you're flying from North America, even the East Coast, that's a 20+ hour flight, and I don't want you to fly all the way to Dubai and take a chance, and that's why we work with, we partner with you to make sure that we get the best experience for our clients. And we want to make sure that it's memorable and it's a great place to, visit. And you're going to just have a lifelong memories of your time there, because there's so much to do. And I really think even in 7 days, you may not even get it all. You won't even be close, because there's still so much to do there. With that being said, Sarah, in closing, is there anything that maybe I forgot that you want to state about Dubai or UAE?
I think we talked about so many topics. I think that was an amazing introduction, and we hope that made appetite to visit the UAE very soon.
Yes, I think they're going to be ready. I enjoyed my stay. I mean, some of the great things that I did is I rode the Corvette in the water there, and that was amazing. I went to the first NBA game that they had in Abu Dhabi, and I just remember even us eating lunch and just seeing people skydive like it's just a regular thing in Dubai, and just the views from the infinity pool overlooking the city. It's a magical place, just a magical place. So I hope we debunked a lot of to Dubai, and just, we always want you to contact Showtime Travel, because you deserve a luxury vacation. Thank you again, Sarah, for taking time out, and even, I know it's an 8-hour time difference from the East Coast here in America to Dubai, and you took time to talk with us. And I really, truly appreciate that. I think a lot of people have learned a lot about Dubai, and I can't wait to start designing these vacations and calling you so we can customize it for these busy professionals.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure being here. Thanks for having me.
Well, great. Well, good night to you. Have a good night. Mm-hmm. Talk with you later.
Thank you so much. Take care, Belvin.
Thank you for listening to the You Deserve a Luxury Vacation podcast. Please visit ShowtimeTravel.com to plan your next luxury vacation. Also subscribe to the Showtime Travel channel on YouTube and Instagram for more luxury vacation inspiration.